A second. All right, you're ready. Coach, opening statement, and then we'll get some questions. So if you want to private message me with some question requests, and we can get you going.
Here are I always do the pluses and the minuses after a game, and we just got through meeting an hour with coaching staff on Iowa State and then what we needed to correct. Obviously, the pluses in that ball game, the charges we took, I think they were about 18-11. We won the turnover battle 20-24 on free throws. Sierra, Wilson, and Jordan were very strong for the majority of the game. The inbounds play at the end, which we called Dallas, we executed it right, and we held them to 4 out of 23 by still trying to limit paint touches. Now, their paint touches are a lot different than a lot of the SEC types because they just catch it. They like a spinning top, and they just go up with a soft jumper, and give them credit. We just wanted to make sure we didn't foul them. And of course, the minuses in the game, 14-point lead. I think they got to 16, 7 crucial turnovers in the second half. Communication on defense, we gave a wide open 3 because Kayla and Sierra didn't switch on the thing. Transition opportunities, we could have hurt them more. We didn't communicate, gave up right-handed drives too much. We didn't put them away. And then at the end, I just thought shot selection leading up to the last 3 or 4 minutes when we finally just ran high ball screen with Jordan and then with Wilson gave us the better shots. Other than that, I stayed up to about 2:30, kept rewinding. I was rewinding Iowa State, but then I'd watch on SportsCenter them talking about the game and how the other team got screwed a little or this and that. I didn't hear a thing from the announcers about the travels that were not called or sometimes the play in there, but all I hear at the end of the game were sometimes the 50-50 call on the overback and the charge calls. All charge calls are 50-50 calls. It just depending on where the feet are, who's calling it, and it's tough. So I don't think officiating cost Troy the game, and it didn't help us win the game. So you just adjust to the officiating as the game goes through. Questions?
All right, Cease.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, Gary, how different a score is John's, and how do you go ahead and contain her?
That's the word, contain, not control. She spins reverses. While she spins reverses, her eyes are looking for the 3-point shooters that are lined up on the other way, or a cutter if you come over and trap. I just think she's a heck of a ball player, and she's only 5'11", but she plays like she's a 6'2" kid in there because of all the hustle points that she has and just knowledge of the game. She's just an old school basketball player that understands what it takes to put her team in a position to win. And sometimes it's not her points, it's just everything she does on the court. She's just a complete ball player, and I just admire her. And a lot of times you think you got her covered when she does that spin and tries to make about a 6-foot hook. It's the same shot that would put you out in a game of horse. And in a game of horse, she can make that. If you try to block it, she's going to get into your body and you're going to get the body foul before the block. If you just try to limit her touches, there's a lot of different ways. They got other kids that can score as well, but the offense comes through her. and they do a very good job of identifying. I think she's only fouled out about one game all year. So you're not trying to foul her out. You're trying to contain her. And that's all you can do with great players and NCAA time. You notice the great players, if that's their team scoring, they're all scoring. The games that were yesterday, they're all finding ways to score and help their team.
Gary, a lot of times you'll say like, oh, you got to play, today you play in two days. But is this a situation you sense with your team that probably got to be awful glad to get back out on the court in 2 days because maybe they didn't play their best?
We didn't play our best, but I don't think y'all were thinking that when we were up 14 at half. We were doing a lot of pretty good things against a different type of team that we hadn't played all year. I mean, all year, we haven't ever seen anything like that. And that was a hard team to defend and to block out because they were so agile. They would just flow. And all of a sudden, you thought you had them blocked out, and they were 50-50 standing next to you instead of standing behind you. And yeah, we'll be ready to play, but tell you the truth, we've got to dissect Iowa State. And if we harp on Troy, it's Iowa State now. So sometimes you've got to turn the page and just say, but you have to have games like this to be able to either get their attention or the accountability that each player must have on a certain set. And this is what we will stress today in practice. We're not going to go hard for an hour and a half, but we're going to go more mental in an hour and a half. We'll work on their sets. We'll see what we can do better, but I can't sit there and practice 20 minutes of transition drills to be able to score layups with contact. We've just got to do a better job of that. That's all year long. A better job of scoring with contact to get the and ones, not just get the 2 free throws. That's on us, but it's too late in the year to sit there and drill them to death.
Thanks, Gary.
Yes, sir.
All right, Tyler.
Yeah, Gary, you just talked about doing a better job of scoring with contact. What else do you want to see? I know you said you want to move on from Troy and look to Iowa State. What else do you want to see the team improve on and do better on Wednesday?
A sense of urgency, being able, we know what we need to do at the end of ball games, but why put ourselves in that situation at the end of ball games? Okay, a sense of urgency to complete the deal, whether it's the end of the third quarter. I think we were up 7 or 9 to start the fourth quarter. I can't remember, but quit trying to run the perfect play. When something is taken away from you, go back to the basics. All right, screen, short jump shot, get it inside, 2 post players that can score. Yeah, between the 2 of them, they had 24 rebounds and 27 points. That's not bad. But the other team had 46 points and 22 rebounds. But I thought our guards were pretty good. So it just depends on what you're looking for. They were not scoring on post play moves. They were scoring on jump shots or transition. Our transition gave up too many points in transition. That's all on us.
The first half, obviously played much stronger there than in the second half. But do you think that the 16-day layoff, without playing a game, had any effect on last night?
Probably, but which team didn't? Okay, except for the ones that played their tournament last weekend. Which team didn't? We all have to adjust. We look at the men's side, the teams that ran out are the ones that were on COVID. Everybody looks for an excuse when you lose instead of looking for why you didn't win. Not an excuse why you lost, but why didn't you win? Why didn't you guard this thing particularly better that we've been doing all year. We lost the jump ball. I mean, we owned the jump ball. We lost the opening tip, okay? And all of a sudden I said, oh, here it goes. I had to start rubbing that lucky coin right after the jump ball. I think the layoff, no, I'm hoping now I'm ready to physically play today, but mentally we're not ready to play today because we've got to concentrate on an Iowa State, which we have not played a team in our whole conference that's like Iowa State. We haven't played anybody like that, but they've had the opportunity to play Baylor and Texas and a little bit of Oklahoma State that are similar to us. And you're looking at a well-coached team. He recruits to a system, and they do very well within his system, and he's done it year in and year out.
All right, we'll go to Justin.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned rubbing your coin. I'm wondering, even though you've been doing this so long, do you get nervous in those type of games coming down to the wire like that?
Always. But my new coin is, since I lost the Georgia game, I had to put that one away to next year. This is one of our officers on the K9 group. He passes out challenge coins. I think there's 3 K9 university. This is from the A&M University Police Department. So this is my coin for the tournament right now because I love the K9 dogs. And so, yes, I get nervous, but I try not to show that. I'll get frustrated when a kid comes in that's been watching the game instead of learning the game and not knowing what we're trying to do offensively or defensively. Yes, I get frustrated just like a Tom Izzo or anybody else. We get frustrated because we're trying to coach perfection. You look at Nick Saban. He doesn't just sit over there and cross his arms like that. I mean, he's up and going the same way with Jimbo. We all get frustrations because we try to practice perfect. And then when the game starts, little things go wrong. And if little things continue to go wrong, then if your adjustments are not good enough, then sometimes you're on the wrong end of the scoreboard. So that's my job to make those adjustments, or Coach Starkey's on defense. Like the first half, we scored 3 out of 3 on inbounds plays, but we finished 4 out of 8 due to substitution, due to not knowing what we were doing on certain things. Well, we were hurting them on inbounds plays. Well, we didn't hurt them in the second half, and that's on us.
One quick follow-up. I know you got Jones and Johnson down low, but how much of the tournament is guard driven in your opinion, and how nice of a luxury to have Wilson and Jordan take over late like they did?
I think guards all the way through. It doesn't matter if you're Stanford or Connecticut or whatever, it's guards making decisions, because a lot of times in this league, they let the post players play with contact instead of scoring the nitty bitty foul. And that's the problem. Post players have got to score with contact more than the guards. The guards are trying to find space. The guards are reading screens. The guards sometimes, I think we tried to make one home run pass that was an ill-advised pass in the first half when we tried to hit somebody cutting. That's all on us. Don't make the eye pass. And that's why, as you look, we only had 11 assists on 30 baskets. That's not good. That means we're not running our offense through all the options, and then we're not finishing on the first shot. You say, well, you got 13 offensive boards. Well, you gave up 18. But at the same time, 11 assists is not good for 30 baskets. And this was the highest possession game we've been in all year. Possessions by both teams, high possession game.
All right, we'll go to Mike.
Hey, Coach, late in the game there, you went to a lot of high pick and rolls with Sierra and let Jordan and Aaliyah kind of do their thing. How good of a screener is Sierra that you have the confidence to just keep putting her in that position to get the guards open?
I think she's the best in our league because she will get two shoulders in you. We're trying to pick off those little guards like you, Mike, okay? We're trying to pick them off, but sometimes we have other kids in that position. We'll give you the half shimmy shoulder. You got to learn to get in and do it legally. I think she's the best in the SEC at setting screens, high or low, or also being able to get the ball into Indy down low. We've got to get Indy isolated down low some to be able to get her because she squirms around and can spin, very similar to Jones. We need to get her more touches, but we need to get her more finishes.
And then one more real quick, Coach. You, even in the first half when you guys were up 14, I thought it could have been more because y'all missed some shots right around the rim that you guys have typically made. Do you attribute that just to some tournament jitters, or are those shots that just have to go in at this point of the season?
They have to go in. You make a driving layup. Girls play slightly below the rim. Guys play above the rim. They're bringing the ball down. Girls are taking the ball up. So you've got to focus on the shot at hand or make the simple 2-on-1 transition basket. Drive it in. Don't show what you're going to do. The simple pass and the easy basket, we do not get enough of those. We score the hard shots. We do not score enough of the easy shots. And it's too late to be drilling. The kids know how to do it. And hopefully we'll get it done against Iowa State. This is going to be another high-scoring ball game.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Coach?
Yeah, one, Gary, is it good that Iowa State also had a tough game? You know, a lot of times when you're once again in this quick turnaround, is it better that they had a close game too instead of winning by, like, say, 30 points in a blowout?
Yes. They had to play their starters as many minutes as we did, and Michigan State's a very good ball club. We scouted them both before and after. Our staff has seen so many films on both, and it was going to be a completely different scout depending on who we were playing. And who did we want to play? I'd just soon go play Troy again and do a better job of it. Okay, that's how much respect I have for everybody in this tournament. I mean, you see the upsets. You see 3 low seeds yesterday on the women's side come away with W's, and you almost saw 4 if we hadn't taken care of business at the end. This is the fun part. I think y'all would get bored if the favorites won all the time, or the coaches weren't second guessed on certain things, or the player that's averaging 22 scored 8 in a game. What's wrong with her? Sometimes she's doing other things. You look at Wilson, she plays so doggone hard. Technically, you don't want your 2 guard leading the team in assists, which she did yesterday, because she's very unselfish. You want your point guard leading the team in assists. And sometimes we got to do a better job of it, because as much as Jordan did offensively for us, we've got to have her run the ball club. And a lot of times her assist would have been over if our kids would have finished the shot. So that's a misleading stat sometimes, but the turnovers are not misleading. Okay, I've made, shoot, there's Brent Zerneman in there. made a statement, everybody go to Rose's and it's Dutch treat today. Seats will not have to buy.
Gary, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought you're gonna lose when a couple of those shots they hit down the stretch. I thought karma wasn't in your way, big guy.
I understand. But somehow, if you know you have the better team, you find a way and you do not panic. You do not panic. And when we step to the free throw line, we're not short arming anything. We've got complete confidence. And the thing is, sometimes you want to have the complete confidence when we run a high ball screen, how they going to defend it. Because I'm sure Iowa State will defend it a different way, but we're going to see a lot of zone versus Iowa State. You might see some triangle and two, and you might see some sagging man. They might mix it up with a little bit of press because they saw we stumbled out of the gate a couple of times on our press breaker. So he's got to figure it out because there's no tomorrow. He's got a very, very good ball club.
Thanks, Gary.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, I'm going to give you a call soon. I got a couple questions as I head to San Antonio Wednesday.
All right, man. Thanks.